Representing the Midwest, 219, stand up.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Lamar Tate.
This is your girl, Monifa.
Hey, what up? It's your man, Dave Hollister from Blackstreet.
You know what this is right here. This Trigger Trench in the building.
Hey, what's up, y'all? This is your boy, Jason Weaver. And whenever I'm back home in the Chi, I'm checking out Dope Living TV.
Hey, it's your girl, Adina Howard, and you're watching Dope Living TV, live with Greg Gray and the crew.
Hey, how's everybody doing? You got me today. First and foremost, the views that are expressed on this Dope Living TV Live are not necessarily the views of Dope Living TV or its affiliates. Yes. You know what? If you were not in Las Vegas this weekend, you missed an awesome show. First, I want to say thank you to all of our viewers. We appreciate you all. We love you all. This weekend was a weekend that made history. We were in Las Vegas giving accolades and honor to all of the past authors, all of the future authors. Man, it was just an amazing night. It was full of love, joy, smiles. Oh my gosh, I am still on cloud 100, you guys. But you know what? We have a few authors here tonight that's going to share their experience with you. We have award-winning author Roosevelt Glenn, author of the book Innocent Nightmare, and he won in the Memoir category. We also have authoress Paula Karll. She wrote the book The Adventures of Ellie and Eve, Ellie Meets the New Baby. And this book won in the children's category, children 4 to 7. Man, I know they have a lot to tell you, but before we get them on, we're going to bring on my family. Let's see who we have here. Mo.
You just rubbing it in.
What's happening, Mo?
Dang, I missed y'all. I was like,
we missed you out there, Mo.
Man, I know I would have had a blast. I'd have did something for that production too.
Yes.
But yeah, that's where I'd have been at. But
let's bring on our sister.
Hey,
Marcy.
Hey, everyone.
Yes. My heart is full, y'all. My heart is full. I'm telling you. You know what? I don't even know how we're going to top this year. How we're going to 2022. I don't know how we're going to top next year because this was so awesome. But let's bring on our other brother, Zayo. What's happening, Zayo?
Everybody, how y'all doing? Gina, I gotta say, it was looking like Black excellence out there in Vegas.
Hey, it was Black excellence out there in Vegas. These
the spirit hit everybody too. Had a good time.
Oh my gosh, they showed up, they showed out. The city of Gary showed up, showed out. It was amazing.
Wow.
But you know what?
Great.
I had to. It was so hard to hold my composure. It was so heartfelt.
I saw you.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know how a couple of them. I don't know how you stood up there through a couple of them. I was like, man.
Did you cry? Did you cry, Maurice?
I did like this.
Okay, your bottom lip said.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, you know what? I'm going to bring our guests on because I want to give them as much time as they possibly can have during the show to talk about their books, to talk about their journey with DAG to talk about what they're doing outside of DAG, because as an author, we do more than just write books. So I'm going to bring on, ladies first, we're going to bring on author Paula Karll.
Hi, Paula.
Hi.
Hey, Paula.
Hello.
How are
Hello.
you? You look beautiful, Paula.
Thank you. Thank you.
And let's bring on our loving author, Roosevelt Glenn.
Roosevelt.
Hey.
All right. Hello, everybody.
Hello, brother.
Hey, what's going on?
Hello.
How's it going, Roosevelt?
Going good. Pretty good.
Awesome.
I'm still on that cloud from Vegas.
I'm up there with
I saw
Roosevelt.
you doing that right there. You're like, yeah, baby.
I am up
How you
there
like me
with
now?
you. Well, you know what, Paula, I know you weren't able to make it, but you still will receive your award in the mail. But tell us a little bit about your trip. First of all, tell us what inspired you to write this book.
Yes, so my children actually inspired to allow me to write this book, because my oldest daughter, the title of the book is called Ellie Meets the New Baby. Yes, you got it up. Awesome. Ellie Meets the New Baby. And so my oldest daughter was struggling a little bit when I brought the baby home. And I know if I saw her struggling, I know other parents have the same issues. So I wanted to make sure that this book was a learning tool and a useful tool, in addition to allowing children to read and expand their vocabulary. I'm a special educator. So again, building children's literacy is important to me. And so during the COVID-19 pandemic, I saw this at home. You was at home. I did a lot of reflection. And during those reflection allowed me to write and put it on paper. And so my children inspired me to just write this story.
Now, what are the age groups of the two children?
So at the time, she was 4 or 3, and the baby was just born. But now they are 6 and 2. 6 and 3, so 3 years apart.
Probably best friends now. Do you think a lot of children? Do you think that your 4-year-old or 3-year-old, I'm sorry, went through that transition because of her age? Do you think if she was older, it might have been easier for her?
No, I hear parents a lot say, even one lady, she had a big gap in her children. And you'll find different ways how children will show that they want more attention. So it's more of an attention rather than, I don't want to use the word jealousy, but I want to use attention seeking. So they want to have more attention than maybe the new child or youngest child. I'm a triplet. And we still, I'm one of a triplet.
Whoa.
Yes. Wait, yes. I'm one of a triplet. And so, I'm okay. I think my sister seeks out more attention from my parents, and I'm 46 years old. So, I mean, it doesn't matter, you could be the same age, and it all depends on the emotions of that child.
Wow. Yeah. So you didn't even have to share, you guys kind of like, how can you even be vying for attention when you came the same time? Like, poor mama.
If I could, Paula, you went to Thornridge, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
I went to Thornridge. I came out in 93. I knew you looked familiar.
Yeah, I came out a year later than you, 94.
I was looking at you like I know her. And I know she's
small world.
You should know her sisters too then.
Yes.
Yep, it's a sister and a brother.
Yeah.
Oh, a sister and a brother. Okay.
Yes, sister and a brother. Absolutely.
Wow. That is amazing. Well, you know what? I know that book is needed for a lot of families, because my children, they had an 8-year difference. And yeah, there was still some animosity there. So, Roosevelt, tell us about your book. Your book is it's on a totally different realm than Paula. Paula dealing with the children, making them happy. Tell us what went on When you
That's it
wrote
right
Innocent
there.
Nightmare.
And fist on them bars, that's enough.
Oh yes. Well, my story began when I guess you could say I thought I was doing everything right. Far as what I thought America wanted us to do and the way my parents brought me up, go to school, get education, finish school, take up a trade if you're not going to college, and work, pay taxes, obey the laws of the land.
Right.
And so I spent my whole life doing those things. And one day at work, I was arrested. And I thought it was a joke, but it wasn't a joke. I went to prison for 17 years. And while I was in the prison, I didn't know what to do. But I felt I just had to tell somebody, anybody, what had just happened to me. And I wanted people to know that this could happen to anybody, because if it happened to me, I knew it could happen to anybody because I was doing all the things I thought I was supposed to do. So I began to write while I was in those cages in prison for those 17 years, not knowing how to write a book or not even knowing I was writing a book. I was just taking notes because I wanted to remember the things that had happened, the way the trials went, the way the evidence. I was just trying to remember everything. So I just began to write. And I ended up I was sentenced to 36 years. I ended up doing all the time. It's 36 to 18. So when I was released on parole and I was forced to register as a sex offender, take classes for rapists, child molesters, incest. And, it was hard on me. But the law professor at IU, she never gave up. She knew I was an innocent man in prison. And even after prison, she kept fighting because I had a co-defendant who was still in prison. And he was sentenced to 60 years.
Good Lord.
So he still had a long time to go. And I was still out here on parole, a registered sex offender and all those things. And she continued to fight. And then I had all these notes stacked away. And one day I was thinking about getting rid of everything that was reminding me of the prison. And instead, me and Lorraine was talking. I say, I should write a book. And she said, write a book. I said, yeah, but I don't know where to begin. And then she would say, well, Cheryl, she writes children's books. This is a cousin of ours. And I didn't know. And I had really forgot about it. So I called her and she said, I would be honored to put it together for you. So I sent her all my notes and she sent me this.
Man.
Wow.
Yes. And she, I guess you could call self-published it. And that's how this book began. And that's how it all started.
Now, you had a family member that advocated for you fearlessly, right?
Yes, my sister, while I was in prison, she became my mouthpiece. She put her life on hold because she was my only sister. And she became advocate. She traveled all over Indiana, all over the country, trying to find people that would listen to her. But most of the people would just tell her, well, that's your brother. Of course, you're going to say he's innocent, and she went through those type of headaches, but she never gave up. And then finally, she was the one who met the professor and she just cried. And the professor said, well, okay, well, just let me see his transcripts and I will see if there's anything I could do, but I can't promise you anything. So my sister said she was just so glad that she was able to finally touch someone physically because she'd been calling, writing letters, and she just been getting the runarounds, and now she really met somebody. And this professor was at IU. She was at IUPUI in Indianapolis, but she was at Indiana University, McKinney School of Law. So my sister met her in the parking lot of the prison. And at that time, my sister gave her the transcripts, and she read all the transcripts. And she called my sister months later and just told her, unbelievable. And my sister was like, is that good or is that bad? She said, well, it's good for your brother because he's not lying. He's an innocent man. And we're going to do what we can to help him.
Wow.
How did it affect your life, moving forward, even coming out of prison, how did that affect your life?
Oh, it's I wouldn't even know it again, because when I first came home, well, first in prison, it was like I had to forget about it because I had to survive. Because at that time I was like never had been locked up before, and the only thing I knew about was the stories that I was told about prison. So I became very defensive, and it became a time of survival. It wasn't try to prove your innocence no more. Now it was trying to live in a prison system where they put me in maximum security. And some of the guys, they was out of Gary, and they took a liking to me because they were from Gary, and they said they had read about my case and they felt I was an innocent man, and so they was going to help me through the process. So several guys from Gary, they kind of walked me through the maximum security part and taught me a lot of ins and out. And every day was a nightmare.
Wow.
Every day was fear because I walked over people being badly beaten. I've seen a lot of stuff, that I will not talk about. But it was just, for me, it was like, wow, what do I do now? So I followed the prison rules, and I had weapons and everything like that. So the prison life is not a game. Everybody is serious, and everybody is a potential killer.
Yep.
So you have to walk that thin line. And my problem was righteousness. I had a choice, because one time several gang members, they asked me what was I going to do, what side was I going to be on, and I told them I was going to be on this. And so I didn't know how that was going to be taken, but they say, oh yeah, that's what all the guys say. So they left me alone and they watched me. And after a couple of years, a guy came to me and he said, he was an Islam. He came to me, he said, you really a Christian? And that was like the best feeling I had felt, because in 2 years, I walked around and mind my own business, and I prayed a lot. And the prayers that I was doing touched some of the guards, because a guard came to my cell one day and said, Mr. Glenn, could you pray for my son? And I was like, I'm doing the right thing. Because when I noticed a guard who goes home every day came and asked me to pray for his son, he was having brain surgery. And he came and asked me to pray. I was like, wow, God is real.
Yes,
and I went for 17 years without one incident.
Wow.
I never even had a writer.
Wow. That right there.
Coming up out of prison, it was just as bad, because it's a mental warfare. Coming home, I thought everybody hated me because of I was considered a rapist, and it was mostly my own mental, because didn't nobody even really know who I was. Even when I would go in the stores, when I see ladies with their children and stuff, in my mind, they was pulling their children away from me. I'll be pushing the buggy, and in my mind, I see them pulling their kids away from me, trying to, like they were scared of me or something, and all the time it was my own mental that was playing tricks on me.
Wow.
So I began to pray to God and ask him to help me through this process, because there's really nothing out here to help you through a process if you don't have family. And so that's what made me get real close to my family. I never went anywhere for my first year home. I just stayed with my family and went to church. I didn't go out. I didn't do nothing. Just family church for a whole year. And that's when I started getting my strength, because that being with my family and going to church reminded me of my upbringing from as a child. I was always a good person. I was always I always thought I was a good man. Even before prison, I thought I was a good man. But I wasn't a man of faith. And so prison, it really didn't destroy me. It just made me a man of faith.
Wow, that's a big turnaround there, to be able to come out and come out of that
man,
that atmosphere and that environment that you've been in. But Marcy, you
Yeah.
had a question.
Yes, I have a question for both of you. Paula, first. After writing your book and going through, your children are older now. What are some of the other things that possibly you might be seeing between the two that you might decide that you might think about writing on to help other parents?
Yes. So the other thing, because I'm a special educator, the other piece
Mhm.
of it that I want to write about is diversity and inclusion, and not
Mm.
just in the racial aspect of it, because my family is
Mhm.
diverse, but in how children access reading and how they learn to read. So, what I did with my book, I turned my book into a text to speech ebook for children that are struggling learners, children that are early learners, or ESL learners can have access to not only just my book, but access to other books. So, um, I want parents to know that education is important, early learning is important, and to just get
Mhm.
those students and children loving reading, because it's hard. Like I said, I'm also a special educator, and just to see the gap in just reading basic sounds and um, words, and just knowing sight words that we see, and we also call it high frequency words. So these are words that we see all the time. Of course, I'm an educator, right?
There
So
we go. The a
right. So,
Phonics.
that's my goal, is to make sure that my next book supports children that are physically disabled
Mhm.
and have a
Mhm.
physical disability, and make sure that they're seen and heard. So my next book is
Mhm.
really about those touching those students.
Mm.
Mm.
Okay. And for you, Roosevelt, all of the craziness, I will say, that you've gone through, unfortunately, what are you working with people that are coming out of the prison system now that might have gone through what you've gone through, or have
I
anything
wouldn't say.
planned for? Mhm.
Well, at this point in time, I'm more focused on, I guess you could say, the legal side of things,
Okay.
trying to make a difference as far
Mhm.
as reaching law students. I do a lot of share my story a lot at different universities,
Mhm.
trying to reach those law students who's going to be our future. Because I always remember my grandfather used to always tell me their job was to make it better for us. So my
Yeah.
way of thinking is I got to try to make it better for the next generation, hopefully, because this generation right now, the people that's in power right now, I think is already ruined. There's
Mm.
no talking sense to them. They don't want to listen to,
Good
what's
reason.
real. They want to listen to
Mhm.
notches in their belt. They just want to win at all costs. And
Without
so,
the
with
work.
talking to some of the students, like I went to this college, Harrison College, and IU
Mhm.
down in Indianapolis, and Purdue as well. And the different students, and Notre Dame, I've been there too. But in those different students that I've talked to, and the professors, the students didn't even think this still happened. Didn't think
What?
Indiana had a problem in Indiana. It's
Mm.
rare that you hear about innocent men getting out of prison in Indiana. And these students, one lady, she came to me
Wow.
and told me when they first brought her the case as a student to review, she
Mhm.
said, "Get out of here. Ain't no
Mm.
innocent man." And she got to read, and she said it changed her whole world because she couldn't believe the dirt she saw. So
Mm.
that kept
Okay.
me focused on trying to talk to these students.
Okay. So you really are still doing something, just not necessarily with it. It is for those that are incarcerated wrongly. So you still are doing things. Zell.
Yes, I was fortunate. I guess you could say fortunate to where the New York advocate, policy advocate from
Mhm.
New York teamed up with two professors here in Indiana, and they had me come and tell my story to the Senate committee here in Indiana.
Okay.
And after telling my story to the Senate committee, Indiana, who never had a compensation, now has compensation for those men and women that gets out of prison now. They have financial resources they can get.
Wow.
Okay. Oh, Zell, did you have a question?
I did. I did. First of all, I want to congratulate both of you for sharing your gifts and your stories with the world, because I know as an author as well, I know that it's challenging to make yourself vulnerable and share your gift and say, hey, I made this. This came from me. I want to see if the rest of the world thinks that it's valid, that it has something of value that they would like to read and to share with others. So kudos to both of you. Paula, I want to give you a shout out as a Thornridge alumni for doing your thing. So salute to you. Let me ask you this for you. Do you see your book going into animation?
I would like it to. I do see it.
Speak it.
Say it again.
Speak it.
Speak it into existence. I do. And again, it's a layer, it's a layer of diversity and inclusion with racial, with how children learn and accessing reading material, because again, having a learning disability, you definitely can't see that. But if you include them into the general education and allow them to flourish and access the same material, they too will learn. Maybe not at the same pace, maybe not at the same time, in the same day, but they will learn. So again, that's my mission, is diversity and inclusion in all areas.
Awesome. Yes.
Okay.
Well, let's read a few of the
question for you.
Oh, I'm sorry, Zell.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I just got a quick question for Roosevelt. Well, I recently read the autobiography of Malcolm X, and having him share his story through Alex Haley's words was phenomenal. His journey of, being who he was, being Detroit Red, to going to prison, to coming out being this great speaker and this advocate for us, right? So what I want to ask you is, if your book was to be turned into a movie, who would you want to see play you?
Ooh,
Denzel?
good question.
Come on, Bell.
Zell, he didn't even shift the gear, man. He just Denzel.
He's hitting top of the top.
I get you need that power, right?
I am not mad at him for that.
Would you like to see your story become a movie or a TV adaptation or anything like that? Would you be receptive to that?
Oh yeah, I definitely would. It's been talked about, but that's all. Just talked about.
Okay.
It was after 48 Hours, CBS 48 Hours. They done a 1 hour documentary on Glenn and Pinkett's, two of us, Glenn and Pinkett's case, where they interviewed both of us. They did a whole 1 hour documentary, and a lot of people was making noise about it should be a movie, but nothing has never happened with it.
Keep pushing that.
Wow.
I can see it being a movie.
I couldn't too, boy. That to me, Roosevelt, I mean, that takes a lot of strength, bro. You went through some stuff that, I mean, we can't even imagine, what you went through in that prison, bro. That takes a lot of strength, and I guess the other thing that God put in you is to write everything down and keep those journals, because those journals helped you do what you need to do today. That actually gave you what you got today with the, DAG, with the Artist Guild, that award that validated exactly,
Yeah, DAG was a blessing.
Yeah.
DAG was a blessing to me because I had never been around authors. I done my independent thing in the cell and gave it to my cousin. Her name is Cheryl Conway Griffin, and she put the book together for me. She told me she didn't have to change much. She left it plain, just like I had it wrote, and, just help with some spelling, edit something.
Edit it.
A little bit.
So she's ghostwriter on this book?
Huh?
Is she a ghostwriter on this book?
She just said she helped me.
Okay.
I don't know. She said because I had so much stuff that she didn't really. She just went with the first. Like I had like stacks. She just went with the first stack, and she said that was a book, and it could be a couple of more in the
I was
stack.
ready to say, yeah, it's going to be a couple of more behind that. That'll be cool.
Wow.
Let's read what the viewers have to say. We have Ludine, my girl. Good evening. Congrats to all the winners. Beautiful event in Las Vegas. And then Greg has a question for you. This I know is for Roosevelt.
Yeah.
So have you been totally cleared?
Well, I would say totally because, well, let me tell you like this. While I was out and Professor Watson was still working, Indiana, they wouldn't accept the fact that the reason I got out and I was still a convicted felon because Indiana wouldn't accept the fact that the DNA testing, they used the head hair against me at my trial, and they found it on the victim's sweater. But DNA testing proved that it wasn't my head hair. But Indiana said that wasn't enough because I supposedly had, supposedly confessed to 2 snitches while I was in the county jail. So that was enough to keep the conviction. So while I was out 8 years, almost, I say 7 years later, while I was out, this scientist, he could never let the case go. He was out of Boise State, out of Idaho, and he was the DNA expert on our case. So he felt like Indiana just called him a chump. You know, in other words, they just
it don't matter. It don't matter. Yeah.
Right. So he took our case to a science convention, and it was a guy there by the name of Dr. Mark Perlin. And Dr. Mark Perlin, he's a creator of what's called True Allele. It's the science they use at 9/11 to identify all the mingled bodies and the blood and stuff like that. So his technology was being used through the government. So when he heard about our case at the science fair, at the science convention, he told the scientists from Idaho that he would use his technology free of charge to assist this case.
Okay,
and so the professor, she had to go back through the courts. Now, my appeals were all over, but the professor went back to the court, the Indiana Supreme Court, and the Indiana Supreme Court said, retest it. So Lake County had to retest, turn all the evidence over to his lab in Pittsburgh. And when he got through in Pittsburgh, he was able to find all the perpetrators through DNA testing.
Wow.
And they had to release my co-defendant, who was still in prison. They had to release him immediately. And then they had to refile paperwork in my behalf because I was already out. He came out cleared from prison, and then they filed in my behalf, and then the courts exonerated me as well.
Wow.
And it just seems like they're more vendettive than you know, trying to rehab anybody in those systems. It seems like they are trying to maximize whatever pain, mental stress. You know, they're just trying to maximize everything in those prisons instead of doing what they're supposed to do, and that's to rehabilitate. You know.
So the answer to the question would be yes, and my name appear on the national exoneration list. So if you look up the National Registry of Exonerees, you'll see Roosevelt Glenn.
Wow. You have another question, Marcy?
I do, for Paula. So Paula, did you ever think, I know you're a special educator. Was there ever anything else that you wanted to do? And did you ever think that you would become an author?
Uh-oh.
So I am the woman that wears many hats.
Okay.
Literally.
And you started laughing out there. Yeah.
Yes.
There we
And
go.
when I say that is because
I want to drive a
not
race car.
not only that I am a special educator, but I am also a cosmetologist and a trichologist, and I own a hair salon. So yes, I do something outside of writing a book. And no, I didn't always want to write a book. Again, my inspiration came from my own children. And like I said, at the time I wanted to, or before that, I was like, I wanted something on my own, you know, and I thought it was creating my own product line. for hair. And then I said, well, I got all these name brand products and I have all these silencers in my salon and they're not really buying them. So I said, they're not going to buy my products. You know what I mean? So I said, I need something. And it just hit me. I was like, an author. And then I didn't know what, age group I wanted to do. I thought I wanted to write a bio about me. And I'm like, no, that's not what it is. And I'm like, duh, ding, 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 ding. I'm a special educator. I have children. Ding, 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 ding. So the bell, it just the light bulb just came out.
You didn't want to drive
Did you say a trichologist?
Yes. So a trichologist is a person who studies the hair and scalp and supports patients or clients that suffers from hair loss, alopecia, which is hair loss, skin, hair, scalp disease. So I really look at the hair and scalp and help clients restore their hair. And I'm also a medical wig provider where I provide help clients get their wigs covered through their medical insurance. So yes, I'm that woman that wears many hats. And if you are someone who is suffering from hair loss, you can look me up. My salon is in South Holland, Illinois. And so, yeah.
Okay.
You can ask some more questions.
We need your address. Can you, let us have your address so we can put that across the screen as well, please.
You can look on my website. It's called S as in Sam, D as in David, the number 2, hairrestoration.com. And my address is 16126 South Park Avenue in South Holland, Illinois. You can email us. You can phone us at 708-331-1990. And I do have a team of hairstylists and trichologists with me, can support all needs.
Okay, you said SD2, hair restoration?
Yes.
Hairrestoration.com. Oh, okay. Cool beans. All right.
We do have to take a moment, you guys, to talk about your experience leading up to the Distinguished Authors Guild 3rd Annual Literary Award Show. And, I want to think back that most of the books were sent in between April and July. So I know in between those months, the two of you submitted your books and registered. So go ahead, Paula, tell us your journey from the time you submitted that book.
Yes, if I can just reach back just a little bit. So I did apply last year. So I was a nominee last year and I want to do it again. I was in a mode where I was like, I got to get into for some reason, I was like, I have to get into this year. Okay. I just felt it. And so, yes, I sent my book at the time. I just received my hardcover books. And so I was able to submit my hardcover books in and let it get reviewed. And I didn't make it to the award show in Vegas. My children were ill 2 weeks prior to that. And then I became a little ill too. And so I didn't physically make it to Las Vegas. And I was kind of disappointed, but I understood, it is what it is. And someone wrote we have a chat group, and someone wrote that it's already written. Your name is already written. So, and I took that like, she is right. If it's for you, it's for you. And so the name was already written, and I just ran with that in my mind, like, oh yes. But then since I missed it, I was up, and the award was like Wednesday, right?
Yes.
On the 9th. And so I didn't get a chance to watch it because, again, I was doing a lot of stuff between school and doing hair. And so Saturday morning, I got up like 4:00 in the morning. I was dog tired, you guys, but I wanted to watch it. And so I watched it, and then I kind of skipped through some parts, and then I went back and I saw the children section. And I emailed Gina. I'm like, was there just one the children? And she said no. And so I misread her email. She said it was a general and 47 age group. And again, I went back to, before she sent me that email, I went back into the link to watch the video, and I still didn't see that second category. I just fell asleep and I just still didn't see. And I was like, I felt so disappointed, like, oh man, I said, I saw my name in the beginning, thank you, but I didn't see my name in this category. And then she emailed me like, you won, like, what are you talking about?
Man.
So that was a really, like, I stuck my foot in my mouth.
It is so funny.
I couldn't do anything but laugh, but I do have to share this with you guys.
You're muted. You're
You
muted.
guys can't hear me?
No.
No, Paula's muted.
Oh,
She
I'm sorry.
knows.
Okay. I do have to share this with you guys. Paula sent her book on the last day the registration closed.
Wow.
So her book was the last book that we received for the review. So I got it over to the one of the readers like really late. Like I believe that was probably one of the last books that the reader read. So she just barely made the deadline, and I can't remember why. I think you were waiting on those hardcover books, and they had just arrived either the day before or that day, and she registered. So had she not registered, she never would have won.
Wow.
She never would have won. So, like the other author said in the chat, it was written. No pun intended, y'all.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
So, Roosevelt, come on, you got to talk to us because you were there in person.
All right.
Oh, wow. I don't even know where to start because I'm still stuck in Vegas. But when I first found out about entering my book into the contest, I was like, enter my book. You know, I'm a man, I think, that's pretty confident, but I didn't think this was something that Innocent Nightmare was ready for. But my wife, she told me, enter your book into the contest. What you mean? Enter your book. So we entered the book. And after about a few weeks went by, I say, have you heard anything? Because she's a computer person. I said, have you heard anything? You see anything? She said, no, it ain't time yet. I said, oh, okay, I just wonder. I know they said they're going to have nominees. And I kept bugging about that. And then one day, she said, you've been nominated. I said, get out of here. Quit playing. I thought it was a joke. But it wasn't. I was nominated. And then she said, well, get ready to go to Vegas. Because she know I don't care about getting on any airplanes. So I was like, oh, man, we got to go to Vegas. Can't they just mail it? She's like, we going to Vegas. She said, you ain't never been to Vegas, and she's been once. So I say, well, I don't know, baby. I don't know about getting on this airplane. She like, nah, we going to Vegas.
Give you some
so we got our tickets. When I came home one day, she said, well, the hotel is booked. And this was like 2 months in advance or something like that. I can't remember exactly the date. She had us booked before I can even change my mind. She said the flight is booked. I'm like, oh man. So when we got on that ride, anyway, the ride wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be in the air. This pilot was pretty good. But anyway, when we got there, Gina really set it up. It was beautiful. I walked in there and it was so much love and friendship. You could just feel it. I've been around a lot of rough feelings, right? When I went in there, you could just feel the calm and everybody was genuine, and it was like, wow, this is my type of, I like this atmosphere. This was like a new audience and just a whole new atmosphere for me. And it felt so good. And the champagne was on time.
We had the best of the best.
Yeah. I was sitting there, and now, mind you, I don't think I'm going to win nothing, but I'm just glad to be there. In attendance, just to be nominated. I'm happy. Just give me a glass of champagne and some hors d'oeuvres. I'm good. And when they got to the memoir section, and she said, Innocent Nightmare, I got a little nervous. And when she said Roosevelt Glenn, I almost spit the champagne out. Are you serious? Yeah.
Okay.
So that was a great experience for me. And I believe it gave me a whole new audience. And it lets me know that my journey really hasn't been in vain. You know, things are still going on. I'm meeting new people all the
making up
time.
for it.
I'm able to tell my story to more and more people, just to keep people reminded that there's a crooked system. And in that system, a lot of Black men and women are being destroyed.
Yeah.
You know, and that's
Very
real
real.
life.
Yeah.
You know.
Mm-hmm.
So I thank Gina for that. Dag, Greg Gray, all the authors. I thank them for welcoming me with open arms. It was just a great night. It couldn't have been no better. And I don't know how it's going to be outdone.
It's gonna be outdone. Trust me. I'm going next year.
You said next year going to outdo it?
Next year, I'm gonna be out there dancing and everything. You watch.
Okay.
Well, you know, I'm gonna
my
try. I'm gonna try not to mess this up, but let me see if I can share a little bit. If I mess it up, that's okay. This live TV, we mess up all the time, especially when Greg here. He messes up every time.
You're in the background. You're in the background right now, pressing buttons.
So let's see if we can do this.
Isn't she lovely? Isn't she wonderful? Isn't she precious? There's no one mean at all. I never true to love with me, making wonders is she. Isn't she lovely? Be from love. Isn't she?
Now that's the part that Paula missed.
There it is, right there.
That's it, right there.
Look, I have to screenshot each section. Now that I learned that I won, I had to screenshot each section. So it is on my Facebook page.
I'll tell y'all, she's saying it nice. She did not come off nice when she sent me that text.
You talking about? Where am I at, Gina? Dang.
She was
You
like,
know I'm a race
And
car driver.
she's so precious right now. Really, Paula?
oh, okay. Now let me see if I can find yours, Roosevelt. Let me see. I did good the first time. Okay, that wasn't it. All right. And let me just say this. We owe this all to my brother right here, Mo. Mo put together these videos. He put together, man, did he do it or what? Thank you, Mo.
That was nice.
good.
Yes.
That was really nice, Mo.
Listen to him. Yeah, it's good. I did it, huh?
You know what what it did? It just brought the excitement. Like everybody was on the edge of their seat waiting for the announcement to find out who was the winner. Some people broke down and cried, you guys, when they heard their name. Oh my gosh. It was just, oh my gosh, just elegant all the way around. The authors were phenomenal.
I can
You
hardly
guys
drink my
have
cup of
such
coffee.
wonderful books. I just don't even get the feeling that they know the impact that they're putting out there in the universe. the impact that they have with people, mothers who have children that have new children, and they have to deal with the other older children accepting a new one taking their place pretty much. I don't think, Paula, you know the impact that you have. Roosevelt, I don't think that you know the impact that you have on individuals that have gone through what you went through, and they never were proven innocent. They served time still fighting something that they were innocent for, but they never got a chance to be exonerated. And even the ones who did, that stigmatism that follows them throughout their life, trying to get their life back together, I don't think you know the impact that you have on all of these individuals out there who connect to your story. And that's the thing, the humbleness that all of the authors had throughout the whole journey is really what touched my heart so deep, you know. And I just want to say you guys are awesome, and just keep doing what you're
True.
doing. Keep pushing that book. Paul, I see you all over everywhere. You were on television. You were on was it ABC?
In Chicago, WGN. In
WGN.
California, I was on ABC. A couple more in different stations, but yeah, I've been traveling and doing some things around here.
Very good. Get them, girl.
Right.
Definitely, yes.
You
And
go,
Roosevelt,
girl.
I see you out there speaking on different platforms, on stage with a lot of different advocates that are out here as well, fighting for African American rights and things like that. I see you. I see
Thank you. I have one thing coming up here in 2023. Indiana has approved the Indiana Innocence Project. It's going to be here in Indiana, and I've been asked to be on the board of directors.
Wow, that is so awesome.
So I think I'm going to tell them yes. I think I will.
Yeah.
It starts, they told me if I say yes, my first meeting will be April the 23rd. I think she said the 23rd, but she's going to get back with me after the new year. Indiana approved her. She's been trying. It's the law professor that helped me. She's retired, and she went to New York and asked because she used their name as the Innocent Project here in Indiana. She want to start something, and they have agreed, and the Indiana Supreme Court has agreed as well. She's doing it all through the paperwork, legally. And she has it where public defenders will be able to assist and help people that's in prison, even if they, you don't have no money. This is all free to the exonerees and to the people locked up. So that's something I'm really looking forward to.
That's awesome. Well, you should say yes. You are the perfect candidate. Now, go ahead, Roosevelt, and tell us where we can find your book.
My book, Innocent Nightmare, it can be purchased on Amazon.
Okay.
Yeah, it's on Amazon, or you can download it on your electronic device.
Awesome. And what about you, Paula?
Yes, so you can get it on my website. I do have a sale going on. It's my name, Paula M. Karll. It's spelled KARLL.com. You can also find it on Amazon, online at Barnes & Noble, Walmart, Target, and it's also in an Audible format. You can go audible.com. And then if you are in the Colorado area, there is an independent store called Young Bookworms. You can also find my book there.
Congratulations on both of you. Let's read this
Yes.
remark from Greg. It says, Gina, I don't think you know the impact of what this accolade does for not only the author, but their career. You don't see this movement for authors. Next year, hotel sponsors, airline sponsors, you will have tremendous support. You're awesome. Thank you, big bro.
Yes.
Love you. I love you. You know what? It's time to go around the horn. We always end the show with everyone giving at least one last tidbit, something that all the viewers can take home with them. So we're going to start with you, Roosevelt.
I would just love to thank DAG, Distinguished Author Guild, Gina Gatson, the review board, and everyone a part of DAG. I'd like to thank all the authors. This has been encouragement for me, and I will cherish this moment probably, I know, for the rest of my life. This is really a moment that everyone should really grasp and just hold on to. Because, Gina, I think what you're doing is, I mean, I've never heard of authors celebrated. I haven't, so what you're doing is amazing. All I can do is say, keep up the good work. Thank God for you. And thank God for each and every author that was participated.
Awesome. Paula?
Yes, I am echoing what Roosevelt said. You are a gift. You are a gem. And I thank God for your vision, for your purpose in helping others bring their story to a platform that many wouldn't have an opportunity to. So the DAG Award is so phenomenal. It's so unique. It really holds a place, not just in the lives of us, but also those that we reach in the audience, because you gave us exposure to share our personal story. And I'm really grateful for that. I'm grateful for the community that we have with the Facebook. I connected with so many authors there. And so I'm just looking forward to continuing bragging about that, because everyone should know the impact that you are setting up for us, and then everyone that played a part, from the videographer Moby, from the videographer, which is what's it, BHC group?
BHC Media Group, but
Yeah.
production
My
by
cat is
Greg
trying to get in.
Gray.
He's sticking his little finger out, trying to get in here, trying to make some noise. But I am so grateful for just being a part of this group. It has really touched me, and I've grown just in the year that I've put my book out. So I'm really grateful for meeting everybody and hearing everybody's story and having the opportunity to share. Thank you.
Awesome. Dale?
I'll make it short and sweet. Let's continue to be daring enough to share our visions, dreams, and goals with others, because you never know who they'll touch, and you'll never know what type of impact they may have on the world.
Awesome. Marcy?
Ditto what he just said. And also, I'm like what Greg said, Gina, with DAG Awards, Oscars, Emmys, Tonys, Stellars, DAG Awards. And I really commend you for what you started, Gina. Kudos to you, Paula, and Roosevelt, for your books as well. But people out there, let's get this movement pushing it, more and more African-American authors, and let's see how far it can go.
Oh, yes.
Man, this is a great diversity just between y'all two. Roosevelt, bro, guys got a lot of stuff for you. You just don't know. You got a lot of stuff coming. Paula, keep doing what you're doing. You're educated. You're at my own heart. I have a special needs daughter, and it's educators like you that, it made her end up being on the one.
Oh, you guys are touching my heart once again. I just want to say, you know what? Paula's calling me a gym right now, but at 4:00 on Saturday, she wasn't calling me that.
Gina.
You bringing up old stuff.
Gina, I'm sorry, sister. I'm sorry. Thank you for DAG. Thank you for DAG. I meant to give you your flowers.
Thank you. I'm just playing with you, Paula. I know.
He's like, no, she's real. I did it.
You know what?
I did. I said at the beginning, I set my foot way down, my mouth. I was like, she can't come on. I'm like, seriously?
Running river on your daggone esophagus.
But you know what? DAG would not be successful without authors like Roosevelt and Paula. If I didn't have authors like these guys with these tremendous books, we wouldn't have award-winning books. Like these authors put so much blood, sweat, and tears in their books. They're pushing, they're doing everything they can to get it out in front of people. And this is just another platform. But without you guys, I couldn't do it. I just want to say thank you to both of you. Congratulations to both of you. Keep pushing. I'll be ready for the next book from both of you, because I know this is not where you're going to stop. But I want to give a big thanks out to my big brother, Greg. He made sure that he was there in Vegas to make this a success. That's why he's not here now. He's dead tired. He was up all night editing and doing everything that he could to make it a success. And I owe everything to him. Mo, I know I was all over your back, but Mo did it. He did everything I asked him. Mo, go back and do it. But he
it was
did
the essence of Gina in the back. I kept feeling that whip. Negro, move. Come on, Negro.
I couldn't have did it
I'm
without
joking.
my,
I'm joking.
my
I'm joking. She
support,
wasn't that
without
hard.
my family, even without you, Marcy. Marcy is one of the readers.
Yeah.
And she made sure that she read those books and gave the feedback and everything that she needed to do to make it a success. So I owe everything to you guys, and along with, giving God the glory. Without you guys, it wouldn't be a DAG.
Yeah.
So I'm still full. I'm still full.
You're gonna be walking on the cloud.
Amen.
So we're gonna check out here before I start crying, y'all. We're gonna check out here. We'll see you guys tomorrow. We'll have a few more authors on tomorrow, and we get to continue this tomorrow. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Peace.
Au revoir.
Yeah.